What's up guys, it's George and I'm here for a different kind of video today. It's 2018 Black Friday and I'm sure some of you guys are in the thick of it trying to get those doorbusters on TVs, video games, and all kinds of other stuff that's on sale. So I ran out and I picked out a Samsung QLED television. This is a 49-inch Q6F series. I'm going to review it, let you guys know my thoughts on it, so stay tuned. Alright guys, as stated earlier, I'm going to talk to you guys about the new Samsung QLED series. Now this is the 49-inch 6F model. So this is basically an entry level into the QLED series right here. And it's on sale right now at Best Buy and Amazon for $6.99. Normal price was $8.99. Reason why I picked this one up is because they actually had an open box on it. So I was able to get a real good deal on it. It is a really awesome TV. Straight off the bat, colors are insane. So what QLED is, if you guys aren't familiar with it, it's an LED television just like any of the other LEDs that we are familiar with now. Q is the main thing that stands out. Q stands for quantum dot. I believe that's what the term means. Basically, all the mumbo jumbo really stands for is that you're going to get more saturation in colors per dot, per LED. So this is going to make things look brighter, more saturated, more beautiful in my opinion. Which is the reason why I fell in love with it the minute I saw it on the showroom floor. I was like, boom, this is going to be the one I'm taking home. Also, other pluses that I liked about it is that it has a very fast refresh rate, which is good for gaming, which is something that I do as well. So I'm going to talk to you guys more on the terms of the reason why I bought it and on a stance of a consumer versus somebody who is very, very technical with TVs and reviews a whole bunch of them and is basically talking to you about why this thing does this and that does that. I mean, half the things I read on the RTing site, I didn't even understand what was going on. So, I just basically went to the store and tried to pick out what it is that I like the best. So I'm going to go over the things that I like about this TV, things that I don't like about this TV, and why I think it was a pretty good buy. To start, let's talk about what the TV comes with. So first off, it comes with a couple of bushings that you use for mounting it on the wall. It comes with legs so that you can mount it on top of the table. It does not come with the bolts that you would need to mount this on the wall, so it's important to note that if you're going to get this TV, you have to make sure that you have the metric bolts that you would need to put it in. It's very special. They take metric M8 bolts with a 1¼ inch pitch and 45 millimeters in length. So you're going to need these bolts. They didn't have them readily at any of the Home Depots I went to, and I actually had to go to an Ace Hardware to pick these things up, which was about 20 minutes out of my way. So, just letting you guys know that if you guys decide to get this TV, make sure you have those bolts because you're going to need them if you want to hang them on a wall. So, other than that, it comes with the book that you would need to, basically it just goes over the basics of mounting it on a wall. There really wasn't much in the book that I would say was very important. Most of the information is on the e-manual that comes with the television. You also get this really basic controller that I'm not really happy with. I'm not a big fan of this. I hate the fact that they didn't include any kind of numbers on the controller, so that you could dial in your channel if you wanted to. I prefer the much bigger controllers versus small ones like this. What this controller features is that it has something called Bixby, I think is what the name is. So it's basically their voice-enabled application on the phone. On the controller. And then you can hit the button, talk to it, and it'll do things like switch sources or move to a different channel or that kind of thing. So that actually comes in pretty handy. But if you want to dial in any numbers, you actually got to hit the number pad button here, and then what you'll get is a string of digital numbers that you would have to select, and then that's how you would get there. All right. You also have the home button. The home button here actually takes you to the app screen so that you can take and select the app that you want to use, and you can jump between a bunch of different apps that they have available for you. The ones that I use most, you have Netflix, Plex, YouTube, Prime Video, Amazon Prime Video, and you have so much more. And you can take and customize this to how you want it. Samsung also includes some advertisements for movies and other types of entertainment that you may be interested in at a purchase, so that's something that you might want to do. You could switch sources, you could adjust the settings, and you can see any notifications that they have. So if they have any updates or anything like that, you'll be notified. There's a back button so that you can turn that off, and then there's also a play and pause button for when you're watching live TV. You can control that, so that's there. And you also have a volume and a channel button. That's all you get with this controller. So it's very small, but it does pack a lot of punch for what you need to operate this TV. The TV also features a lot of options for you to connect multiple devices. You have one USB port, one USB for hard drive. You have an optical audio output. You have an HDMI ARC port, so that allows you to have sound in and sound out. You also have 3 more HDMI ports, 1 LAN port, and 1 antenna link. All right, so then once you got it out of the box, it's time to set up the TV. Now, what I was not really prepared for with this television was, unlike other TVs that I bought in the past, there was a lot more to do with the setup than there was with previous models. This one has an integration with SmartThings. So if you have SmartThings in your house, you can go through the process of setting that up, and allows the TV to be controlled by your SmartThings hub, so that you can control it and do things like, if you walk into the room, it will turn the TV automatically on for you. And that's a feature that it has. You can also take and tell it to change channels using the Amazon Echo, because that's also integrated with SmartThings. So you have those options. So that's pretty cool. You also have an option that I didn't mention before on the controller called ambient mode. And when you click on ambient mode, it brings you to a screen that basically has a picture that adjusts with the color and tone of the room. So it automatically does that, and it brings something that complements. So you can take and adjust this and turn it into whatever it is that you want to. They have a lot of different options for you to adjust the pictures. See if I can get there. There you go. So you can take and adjust if you want a board, you know, if you want mono, duo, you can change it to mountain, a bunch of different features. You can adjust colors and things like that. And basically it's Samsung's way of having you turn the TV on and it become part of your art in whatever room that you have. Their idea is that you would have this on at all times, and then that's how you would have your TV. I don't see that as something, I think it's cool, but I don't think it's something that's absolutely necessary. I don't find myself in any kind of way feeling like I'm just going to have the TV on unless I'm using it. You know, as far as, I mean, they say that it's not that much more of a power consumption in the house if you leave the TV on. But for somebody that watches the bills and electricity, yeah, I'm not going to have this TV running on at all times. I'm sure most people do that as well. So I don't really see that as something that was really important or as something that I would use. All right, I stated earlier, from the home page, you can get over to the settings. And in the settings, you can adjust your picture mode and qualities and expert settings. So picture mode basically allows you to choose from movie, dynamic, standard, natural. These are the options that you would get if you have a movie or TV on. And basically it's color options. This is nothing new. It's been around most TVs for quite a long time now. You can do things like go into the picture setting size, adjust the aspect ratio. You can go into expert settings. You can adjust the backlight, brightness, contrast, sharpness. You can do digital clean view, which digital clean view cleans up images that are older, so it makes it look a little bit better, keeps it from flickering. You got Auto Motion Plus, which is available on most Samsung televisions. On this one though, because it's a 49-inch, they didn't include some of the features that you get with the 55-inch. So that's something to note. If you want some of the more advanced features that come with these TVs, you probably want to step it up to a 55-inch and up. So on this one, for example, you could only adjust the judder, but on the 55-inch, they actually give you an option for blur. The other thing as well with this TV that's a difference is that this one only comes in 60 hertz, whereas the other one has 120 hertz refresh rate. So you can get a little bit more crisp picture with the 55-inch over the 49-inch, in my opinion. Also, one last thing that's different about this TV versus the 55-inch is that when you go into game mode, it gives you a couple other options that I'll go over once we move into the game side of things. All right, so you can adjust other things, HDR mode plus, you can have color tone, you can set that, white balance, a bunch of features to try to make your TV look a little bit better or more suited for the room that you're in. You have sound options, so you can have the sound output to an external source, or you can use the source here on the TV, as well as Bluetooth. It has Bluetooth enabled, so if you have a headset that you want to use with it, you can have it set over there. So that's kind of cool. Broadcasting. This option, I haven't figured out how to turn it on yet exactly. So I imagine this has something to do with when you're watching, standard TV. So I don't have that here, so I don't think I'm going to be using that. The general options give you things to adjust like network, being able to connect it to your Wi-Fi. The systems manager will let you set up the time, location, language, that kind of thing. External device manager allows you to set up the external modes as well as setting up game mode. You have the Eco solution. This is not something that I would use, but basically the Eco solution dims the light depending on the light source in the room. So if you have like the lights turned off or if it's bright outside, it'll adjust the light source to give you a little bit better picture. and it also has the ability to auto turn the TV off, and you can adjust the motion lighting for a more economical solution. All right. Accessibility gives you options to adjust the voice guide settings, the high contrast, grayscale, color inversion, a bunch of other features here that you can play around with. All right, so that's also stuff that I really didn't mess around with too much. Smart features, you have the Auto Smart Hub and you have the Auto Last App, which the Auto Smart Hub automatically displays the Smart Hub the minute that the TV gets turned on. So this is the Smart Hub right here. All right, and you can have that set to go on or off when you first turn it on. All right, and then you have start setup. You can reset the TV to factory settings and then start a brand new setup. So that's basically what you get for these options, and these are the options that are available in movie mode. Now, while we're on movie mode, I'm going to talk to you how I feel about the picture. I think the picture looks excellent. You have some really nice saturated and bright, so like you have these nice colors, like you can see reds and blues. Everything looks very vibrant, which really drew me to it when I first saw the TV in the store, which I thought was great. The blacks, I feel, are very uniform. So when you're watching this in a dark room, you're going to see very, very crisp and dark blacks. The contrast is done very well. So overall, I think picture quality for watching a movie, fantastic. So I think that's great. So before I switch over to game mode, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the smartness of this TV. So the TV can auto understand it can auto detect what it's connected to, which I think that is an awesome feature. So when it connected to my PlayStation, for example, it knew that it was a PlayStation. It knew that the primary feature of a PlayStation is gaming, and it adjusted itself to game mode automatically because of that. Now, when you're watching a movie, it automatically knows that you're watching a movie on the PlayStation and will switch to movie mode all on its own. So I think that is cool. I also tested the picture quality during the daylight. I wanted to see how it would handle reflection. So I have a window that was letting in light directly at the television. This is not normally how I would watch TV or play games, but I felt like I wanted to put it through an extreme situation so that you guys can see what it looked like. Now on screen you see that it does have a pretty good amount of reflection. Actually in person it's not that bad. The semi-gloss finish and the brightness of the screen handle the reflection really well. So if you have this in a bright room, I think it would still work out pretty fine. Moving into other sources is done by talking. So you could just basically tell it to move from one thing to another. So if you wanted to say PC, it's going to automatically find the source. And if the source was turned on, it'll jump over to that source. See, right now it didn't have that. So we could change it to say something like Netflix. And then it'll go right to Netflix. All right, and the last thing I want to talk to you guys about is game mode. So game mode is what the TV will switch to the minute it identifies itself with a PlayStation or a PC, automatically triggers the game mode feature. So what game mode will do is it'll brighten up the screen and it will allow for better response time, refresh rate, so it actually works a lot better with gaming. Now, what the larger models come with, the 55-inch and up, is another feature called FreeSync. So FreeSync is an option that's available to you for those of you who are playing from a PC and have an AMD card. And basically what FreeSync is a technology that allows for games to not get tears. Occasionally what you'll see sometimes in these newer games is you'll see tears on the screen, and what that feature does is allows that to not happen. So that's basically what you'll get. This also features on the larger models is Game Motion Plus. So Game Motion Plus is very similar to the Auto Motion Plus of the movie setting. So it gives you options to adjust the blur and the judder. The 49-inch model doesn't come with that. So the only thing you can really do is turn game mode on or off, and then you have a very limited amount of options for adjusting the picture settings in the expert mode. So that's basically it. From the games that I tried out, which was God of War, Spider-Man, and Assassin's Creed, I thought that it looked amazing. The graphics looked very vibrant and bright, which I liked. I didn't notice any issues with stuttering or anything like that with this model, so I thought that was pretty good. And it just looked really cool. So definitely a nice little kick upgrade that I got. Plus, it automatically turns on HDR mode when you are playing games that have that enabled. So that's really cool. So overall, I think gaming was a real plus. So I think this TV is very good for gaming. So really, if I had an issue with this TV, the only problem that I felt was an issue was setting it up with the different devices. Unlike other TVs that were just plug and play and go, this one didn't have that option. The minute I plugged in the PlayStation, it didn't really recognize it at first, or it did recognize it, but it wouldn't actually display a picture. which I couldn't understand why that didn't happen. It took me a couple of times of turning the PlayStation on and off, and then finally it turned on the 1080p version of it, and it looked very squiggly and messed up, at least at first on mine. But then eventually it worked itself out, and then I was able to take and set the 4K settings, which then I don't have any issue at all with the PlayStation. Now, when I was connecting it to the PC, I had a little bit more of a struggle. It was something weird with the way that the settings were set. It would not allow me to set the graphics card that I have to the 4K resolution to allow this to work. So I think that has something to do really with the fact that I have a second monitor that's 1080p, and it just didn't look right. So it was giving my computer all kinds of issues. I had to unplug the TV just to be able to get it to work. So I don't know if that's something that everybody else will have. It could just be a limitation of my graphics card, which I think is what it is. But I couldn't get that to work. Now, I did notice one thing, that even though during PC mode that it was set to 1080p, when I played a game, it automatically readjusted itself up to 4K. So, it will do that. So I think that's really cool. I think that the TV is actually a really good buy, because it has really nice graphics, really nice picture quality. And I think that, that's really cool in these days with the 4K video games that they have, and, 4K movies. Now, right now you can pick it up, like I stated earlier, at Amazon or Best Buy for $6.99, just for the Black Friday weekend, which I think is a real good deal. So it brings it down quite a bit. And, it's something good to have if you guys are into gaming and you guys like watching movies. I think it's overall a very balanced TV. It does have some limitations that the larger models don't have. I don't exactly have the space for the 55-inch here, as you guys can see, so I wouldn't pick that up myself. But for those of you guys who do have the space and you want these extra features like the 120 hertz, the ability to have more adjustments in game mode, I would suggest going for the 55-inch. All right, guys, and that's my thoughts on the Samsung QLED TV. I hope you guys found this fun and informative. And if you guys are out on Black Friday right now, I hope you guys get what you're looking for and definitely get home safely, as I know there's a lot of craziness right now with everybody trying to get the deal. So, good luck, guys. I'm going to come back at you with more reviews just like this one, so stay tuned for all of that. Until next time, guys, keep it marvelous.